start talking about stuff, because this meeting is kind of dense. I don't know if you guys were able to take a look, but I sent those branding questions. I'm gonna send them again here in case you don't have them open. But these branding questions are the questions that I ask in the beginning of, you know, my journey with a teacher when I'm giving them a private mentorship and they want to figure out their teaching, figure out, how they're going to produce content effectively, how they're going to, define their niche. They're ultimately branding questions. And, branding is our is our message. Branding is what we stand for. Branding is what we represent, what people will think about when they see us, when they see our content. And to have branding, you don't need to really like go deep, because everyone has a brand, even when you're not trying to market yourself. Everyone has like a reputation or something that people think like, oh, if you ask who is Michelle, if you ask your Michelle's friends, who's Michelle, they're gonna say something. If you ask Fernanda's friends, Amanda's friends, Liz's friends, my friends, they're gonna be like, oh, she's this and that. So we all have a brand. And then when we're marketing ourselves, it's like really about harnessing that and knowing that, like being aware of that, because sometimes we kind of know who we are, but like, do we really know what we stand for? Do we have it organized? So I like to put it on a paper, like a virtual paper in this case, right? So I would say, if you feel comfortable, if you want to create a copy of this document, and then you can fill it in yourself along the way. Maybe along this meeting, this could be an inspiration for you. But I do think it's important to, at least once in your life, have this conversation with yourself, because then it's just going to flow, in the sense of, you're going to know who you are, you're going to know what type of content you're going to make. And then from there, you don't need to keep on updating this document, even though your brand will change, you'll add new things, but you kind of know so well what you are all about that it becomes easy to just have ideas for content. You know who your ideal client is so well that you just know how to talk to them, what they need, you know? So, branding. Before we jump into the questions, I like to say a little bit about the format that I was imagining we could use in this meeting to make this dynamic and to really help us have something practical that we're using. I want to go through the question and then give each person maybe the idea, the opportunity to answer this question if they want to, and then the others would suggest maybe content that could be made about that answer that was given. Because all these questions here in this document, they result in content ideas. Everything that you answer when you're answering this document, if you brainstorm a little, it could become 2-3 post ideas, because it's just a matter of distributing things in the different formats. Like, okay, so I have 3 ideas. One of these could be a reel, one of these could be a carousel, one of these could be a fixed post, like just an image. And then finding out, could this be a meme? Could this be a video of me? Could this be like, so it's really just about like allowing yourself to brainstorm and go about like the philosophy of you. Once you know your philosophy, you're good to go, right? So the very first question, I'm going to copy and post it here in the chat in case someone's on their phone and they can't really see the document. What values and beliefs do you want your brand to embody? Why are these important to you and your target audience? Okay. So to answer this question, I think it's nice to start the phrase always maybe with I believe. I believe that, because we want to see, what are our beliefs as teachers? What do we believe in as educators? Because that is a lot of Instagram content, people. That is what people want to know. When they open your profile, you could be cute, you can be nice, but if no one knows what you stand for, I don't know. If they're a critically thinking person, if they're not a bolsominion, they're going to be like, okay, honey, but I need more here. I'm going to need more, especially if you don't want to attract just basic students, So I would like each of us to maybe say something that we believe, or three things that we believe in regards to education. Who wants to start talking about what they believe in? You want to put your hand up? Okay, Michelle.
I can try to. Oh my God. I believe. I'm not sure. I believe that. I don't know how to put in words in English, but one thing that I like to talk with my students is like to embrace the Brazilian accent. Maybe this is one of the points that I think so. Oh, the Brazilian accent is fine to have this accent. To don't they use the traditional way that schools usually use. I think there are two things that I believe the most.
Yes, I love that. I put it here in the chat as a belief. I believe people should embrace their accents, right? Embrace their identity, embrace who they are, and they don't need to erase that to really learn English, right? They shouldn't want to erase that. I love it. So I think this is easy, people. Vic, can you think of a content idea about people embracing their accents?
I don't know. Let me think. Um, I think that just us talking maybe with our Brazilian accents as English teachers is something because um, I feel that there are so many, I see actually so many people on the internet trying to sell like the idea of a perfect accent and things like this, that a teacher saying that you shouldn't be pursuing that, I think um, could be something, right?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. So that is an awesome way to already start thinking about how your branding is going to affect your social media presence. So, okay, in all the videos you make, you're going to be speaking your accent. You're not going to be forcing anything. You're not going to be kissing foreign ass. You'll be like, if you want to speak like a native, ooh, you know, that's number one, number one, number one. And then the second thing maybe we could think, an idea that comes from that is talking about that. Saying, hey, you don't need to talk, you don't need to speak like a native, you don't need to, you can have your accent, and that's okay. So yes, us talking in English, us talking about the fact that, we don't have to be perfect. Nice. Amanda, can you think of any content ideas from that?
I don't know how to make it, like if I was going to make that, but I was thinking maybe a conversation between different actions together because that's something that I always talk with my students training September. They watch videos like Italians and Indians and nationality talking English, and the idea of the Cambridge certificate is to have this level of English. You can talk to wherever you want around the world who has the same level as you, and the person is going to understand you. So it's more about communicate and not about the accent. And this is very nice because it's interesting to see how Italians speak English. It's so cute, but Indian is sad because we make some fun about it, like it's a meme on internet. But Italians are very cute, so it's easy to see how it's not about how you say it; it's about saying. Like if you have the words, if you have the vocabulary, you just need to say. So you don't really need the accent and everything.
Yes. I'm writing that shit down. Right. And then I ended up creating another document, people, where I'm putting in the things that we're writing because I want us to document these things that we're doing. So feel free to open that. I allowed anyone to go and edit that document. So I'm already putting here the belief and the content ideas from that belief, right? It's speaking and communicating. Beautiful. I love that. Okay. I don't know, Michelle, while we were talking about your belief, did any content ideas come up?
Not really. I was thinking about what I believed.
But I
But
love your belief. That was an awesome
yeah,
one.
you
Really
had
good.
great ideas. Thanks, Amanda. Okay.
Awesome, people. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Another thing that maybe could be an idea that I'm even going to write down here is that maybe you can just talk about how in classes you like to expose your students to different accents, or you can show different people from different countries just, quoting things, writers from different countries. Like Amanda said, show that diversity, show the cute little accents. So, yes, I'm going to put here show diverse people speaking English. Yes. Okay. Nice. Let's go on to a next belief. Faye, can you think of any beliefs you have as a teacher?
I was thinking that I believe that anyone can learn English, like that is possible for everyone. There is no uh, limitation like age or nationality or anything like this because and also like even if you start as an adult or as an elderly person you can learn not only English but whatever you want, right? So
So fucking lutely. I love that. Anyone can learn English and anyone that wants to should. Absolutely. They should not feel limited. I love
yeah.
that. Ooh. So Michelle, while Fernanda was talking, or now, could you imagine any content ideas about this belief that could be made?
Perhaps if you had an example of an elderly person learning English, an interview with the person, video or anything, or just a written message. Oh, how is has been learning English to you, or how has been learning English to you? Yeah, I could ask these people. Have you ever thought teach any elderly person?
I actually am teaching my aunt now, and she's
Oh,
68.
this is
Um, and it's been a really nice experience because uh, she actually learned French as a second language. So she has this experience of learning it, but when she was 15. So now it's a different process and everything, and it's been super nice. And well, part of the reason is because she stays like 20 minutes saying how intelligent I am. So this is also very good. But well, she's my aunt. So
That's so cute. Oh, I love that so much. I love that. I've taught elderly and it's challenging though, because the ones I taught, like they
mhm,
didn't even know what a K or a Y was because in Brazil you didn't have Ks or Ys until a certain time. So I had to like literally get their little hands and teach them how to make Ks and Ys. It was cute, but challenging.
And
But
I was
anyone
thinking about
can.
this idea of actually posting her saying things or telling other people like, look what I'm doing, and you can also do it if you want to. So thank you.
Yes, I love that. Amanda, are you having any ideas as we're talking about this belief?
Uh, Actually, not. I was thinking like what Fernanda said, maybe post her auntie doing activity or I don't know, showing something. But maybe I don't know. I think that maybe I'm thinking about complex things that you can make on a post. But like talk about neuroplasticity, plasticity,
Uh-huh. Of course you can talk about
because
that.
because I have more experience with kids, I know that this is something, and like if you're getting older, your neuroplasticity is getting not worse. It's not the word that I want to say, but it's not so fresh as you were a kid. So maybe it's nice to say how important it is to be in touch with the language during the time, not actually make classes, but maybe practice like crosswords and I don't know how you can be in touch with the language without a class, and then you get the excitement and the want to be in a class. I don't know if it makes sense.
Yes, I think it does make sense, especially if we talk about neuroplasticity and the importance of English in old age. Not just English, the importance of learning a language in old age, because, like you said, neuroplasticity is going down the hill, and then languages they are proven to build that up, right? Like a person that speaks English, they delay dementia in so many years, in decades. A person that speaks English, not people, person that speaks another language, right? Person that's learning or speaks a second language that is bilingual, they decrease their chances of dementia, Alzheimer, Parkinson, and a lot of other diseases. So yes, talk about the benefits of learning English, for your
Working out our brains.
yes, for your brain muscles. Yes, absolutely. I love that. So you see, we already had some ideas there. Fernanda, while we were speaking, did any pop into your head?
I was thinking also about not only elderly people, but like even people from like I don't know, black people also think that way, and poor people also think that way too. Like that, this is a barrier. Even though sometimes it's a bit unconscious, I think, but I see it happening a lot. So I should think maybe something to address that too. Like all the reasons that people think they cannot learn English or another language or something new.
Absolutely. And then I think there's also this huge value in you communicating your journey, because you're a black person that learned English. So so how was your journey? Share how it was for you. And I think that's something that we can do in all the beliefs, because normally we have a belief because that's something that affected us in some way that we believe in because we had some experience along our journey with it. So take advantage of that. And even if it's just like a picture of you when you were little and then talking about your journey. If it's a picture of you now or graduating and then talking about your journey, people want to know about your journey. And then when you relate your journey to your beliefs, that is authority magic. That is storytelling at its finest. So you go, girl. You do it. Now, Amanda, tell me, what is a belief you have as a teacher?
As a teacher, another one belief that I have is I'm talking about English because it's the only language that I speak, and but languages in general, and it's not about a skill. It's about a tool. Like you don't have to speak another language to get a better job offers or go into a fancy university or get more paid. It's about having more tools to look around, to search things, to find information around this, and to and not about only how to speak the grammar things, but like culturally and history things. So something that is very important for me when I talk about it is like when I talk to my friends that they aren't teachers. It's important to speak. I know why you think that because we are born and raised in the idea that you have to speak English and to get better job offers. But it's not only about that. You open your eyes about the world and about what you can reach uh, besides your own comfortable zone. So maybe
Oh
it's
my
that
God,
belief.
yes, absolutely. And that relates to decolonizing our ideas of like why learn English, right? It's not just because, oh, work, or also decapitalizing our ideas of learning English. Like, not just because I need a job, not just because I want money, but because I enjoy this, and like find the joy along the way, find the pleasure in learning English, because you're not gonna just be speaking to natives. Fuck the natives. You can speak to people in China, you can speak to people in many different countries, so that's awesome. Yes, 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 it's a tool to find a different personality, it's a tool to find different friends, it's a tool to think differently, right? Because when we learn a second language, our brain starts getting wired differently, so it's like it changes the very fabric of who we are, and that's awesome. I love that belief. So Fernanda, while she was speaking, did you have any ideas of maybe possible content?
I thought actually about how that can be something also personal, and you could talk about how has learning English changed your life in a way. Like, how was it not just a way to get a better paid job, and it changed you personally? Because I think everyone has a story, like of why English for me was to understand the indie pop songs when I was 12 years old. So this is why I wanted to learn English. So maybe something like this.
I love that. I love that. I did something very similar this weekend when I posted about how I started teaching. And then it's like why I started teaching, what brought me there, right? And that's the same thing you could do in your profile. Like why I started learning English. It wasn't people, I didn't start learning English because I wanted a job. I really just wanted to understand Paramore lyrics or something like that, like
Exactly. That's it. That's my that's my story.
so that's beautiful to share with people that you need to give those people representation, right? I love that. Love that. Love that. Michelle, did you think of any ideas while we were speaking?
Yeah, I think we could talk about another advantages, bring another advantages of learning English. Like, oh, we can learn English to travel around the world, not just for work, or to enjoy your series, your movies, books. So basically, like Bia said, you found the perfect word I was looking for to decapitalize. Is that the word? Decapitalize
Decapitalize, yeah.
decapitalize the way that people say that need to learn English to just for the job stuff.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. I love that. I love that. You need to talk about the advantages of learning English just to be a person that speaks English, right? Just to access the world. Show all the different places. Like different places that are not the US and UK that you could go to speaking English? Shows from different countries that you can watch if you speak English. And they're not just American and UK shows. I love that. And then talking about decapitalizing English, talking about like literally going and saying in a video in your stories, right? Because all this can always be talked about, right? But oh my god, do you see this? Do you see us making content ideas like flowing and brainstorming and shit? Oh my god. Amanda, have you thought of any ideas while we were speaking?
Yes, you talk about something personality, and now Michelle talk about something about traveling. And I went to Argentina last year to watch the final World Cup game, and was was a very interesting experience that I really want to make this like a post and share this with my social media, but I didn't because I was very shy. I don't speak Spanish. Like I have like very basic level. I can understand some things, and I don't know, when we travel, you have this new personality that like nobody knows me here. I can do whatever I want. I can be whoever I want. But I never went to another country. It was my first time out of Brazil, so was different because when I travel inside here inside my country, it's like I can be wherever I want, but I feel comfortable speaking. And when I went to Argentina, I was like relying on my girlfriend because she doesn't speak Spanish. She's very shy to speak English. She thinks that if she can learn, but she's very related in Spanish. So she was very comfortable. So I was relying on her like 100% of the time. And when I tried to speak with them, I spoke in English. Like, yes, excuse me. I was like so embarrassed. Like, please, you are stop with that, please stop being verbal. Like I was just guilty with myself, but it was like my brain, I don't know what happened, but my brain maybe thought like, oh, you're not speaking Portuguese, so you must speak in English because that's what you have inside your head here, it's English. And it was awful. And I really want to make this a content, even to speak to my to, to share this experience with my students. How can we uh, how can be bilingual? It's tricky if you don't practice another experience, you know. So I was thinking about that, and maybe show how languages can be tricky and you can learn with that.
Yes, I love that. I absolutely love that. I love that because it's very relatable and it humanizes you. It puts you in a position like my teacher is learning also. My teacher is also like a person like me and I connect to her. I understand her journey. So if she's been where I am now, then she can absolutely help me. That's the person that's going to help me, you know? So there's a lot of power in that. So look at this gold, people, right? One question in, and we already have so many content ideas. You can just look at these ideas. Okay, like let's pick a random one. Talk about neuroplasticity. This could be a reels if you talk about neuroplasticity. This could be a carousel, like 3 facts about neuroplasticity, 3 fucking awesome facts about neuroplasticity that you would never imagine. You know, this could be a still post of a meme like I don't know with a brain that's very weak with no other languages than a muscle brain that's very strong with a lot of languages. So you see, all the different content ideas we have here could be in different formats. It could always also be a story of you talking about shit. So, you know, you do you. I love it. Okay, so let's move on to question two, right? Question two: who is your ideal customer or target audience? What are their demographics? First, before we go into needs, desires, and pain points, let's talk about the ideal target, the ideal audience, right? So I'd love to know, Faye, what's your ideal customer? What's their demographic?
Well, I'm sure not the people I work for right now. So, because, well, I think, I don't know. I think people who are more like me, people
Mhm.
um,
What does that
who,
mean?
I don't know, people who are interested in not not learning American or British English, but
Decolonized people, you're saying.
yes, yes, or people
Okay.
who are in the process to become decolonized because maybe they didn't have the opportunity yet to learn in
Mm,
a different way, right? Because I didn't have, and but well, still I'm here, so um, I think that's it.
yes, absolutely. I love that. Decolonize people, people that are willing to decolonize. So
Mm-hmm.
if we think about like the inside that question, how does Louisa, just so you have context, love, let me send you the doc we're editing together with our ideas, okay? Because we're brainstorming stuff as we go. We're in question two. Faye wants to work with decolonized people or people willing to do that. A good way to do that is talking about stuff that is decolonization, right? That's a good way for your brand to start addressing that, right? So, but if we're going to talk about decolonization, could anyone give some content ideas that, you know, could be done about decolonization? Uh,
Maybe just
Uh,
starting by explaining what it is, because I think
Okay.
like some many people never heard of that word. Like so,
Uh-huh. Yes, love it. Yes, Amanda?
uh, yes, maybe start to explain what it is, and then maybe showing. I forgot the name. That soccer player that they gave an interview, and he spoke. I speak English, my friend.
Richarlison.
Richarlison. No, no, Richarlison.
Yeah, it was
Uh,
Richarlison, so yeah.
yes, and my students make fun of him, like, oh, he doesn't speak, blah blah blah, and I was, he spoke. He gave an interview, like he has a lot of sense. Yes, he does. And he, I don't know, he probably doesn't have like a good level of vocabulary like as you do because you study English like since you're 4 years old. Yes, probably, but he's speaking. So why your English is better than that his? Like, who are you to measure this? Like, maybe I can measure it like as a teacher, but I'm not good at that. So why are you? Because people think that a good English is like. Queen Elizabeth speaking.
Oh,
So
for fuck's sake, no.
maybe showing examples of artists uh, going going around the world and speaking. Like you just have to speak it. It's not about speaking perfectly, but it's about to communicate it better.
Yes, I love that. I wrote that shit down. Talk about Richarlison and other artists speaking English as a second language. It's communication, not perfection. And that goes back to the beliefs we were establishing. Do you see how it is all connected? How our brand is like this whole mush of things that's totally connected? So okay, your thing is decolonize people, fame. Do you think there's any other public that you would like? Do you prefer to have only women students, or are you good with like only black students, or only, I don't know? Do you have a preference in terms of more specific demographics?
Well, if I could choose, I think probably I would choose preferably Black people, queer people, and people who did not have as many opportunity to be to learn another language throughout their lives. So
I love that. I absolutely love that. So we have black people and queer people here as a demographic that you're interested in too. So immediately people who can think of ideas of content that could be made to attract these people. Michelle, you're also queer. So what do you think could be said to attract these people? Hey Paula, let me send you the doc we're editing together. Don't worry.
Mm. Okay, can I use an example of a post that I did
Sure.
these days?
Please, yes.
I really like watching RuPaul's Drag Race, and then I prepare a post talking about some expression, queer expressions that started being used in the 80s, 90s with the ballrooms and everything. So I give the explanation of it, what were the ballrooms, and they showed some slangs to them. So yeah, maybe it's a good idea.
Yes. And I love the idea of giving like an explanation behind it, like the historical meaning of of an expression. Like because I think it's very superficial when we're just like, okay, expression, okay, how to say blah blah blah. But when we're giving like history behind it, when we're being like intelligent about it and not just prescriptive, like, hey, here are some things on a platter for you. When we're giving more context, I think that's perfect. When we're using something cultural like RuPaul, that is amazing. So show queer expressions and slang. That is so nice. What else can we use to attract queer people? Amanda.
I I can beat Michelle's idea. Was perfect.
No new ideas. Okay,
I
okay.
I don't know. Maybe like just to add on top of her idea, maybe make a list of good TV show queer TV shows
Mm,
and they slang. I don't know. Maybe
yes. And it's not even just about like, oh, I need to talk about the show. If I don't want to, you could be like 5 queer shows to watch and practice your English. But you could also like give subtle hints in the middle of your content. Like these days I was talking to a student of mine. She's also a teacher. And then she was like suddenly attracting all these Bolsominion and evangelical people. And then she was like, oh my God, why am I not attracting queer people? Do I not look sapatão enough? And then she was like thinking, how do I make me look queerer, you know? And then she has a mug that has the rainbow flag. So during her reel, she like took a sip from her rainbow mug. She didn't need to necessarily just talk about that. She can also, but she will, but like subtle ways of hinting who we are. Maybe the flag is in the background. Maybe the references we use in our reels and in our content are all gay. Then
she
like, come
can
on,
only wear red too.
you can only wear red. Exactly, exactly. You know, you can have like the communist shit in the back. You could be wearing like using a mug or have something on your shelf that's like the Communist Manifesto or some shit. You know, we can be subtle about it too, you know, and give little hints, just subconscious things. Louisa, what do you think could be used to attract queer people? Content ideas that you could have.
I don't know. I like talking about the queer the capitalistic questions around it. I mean, pink money and this kind of stuff. I like to bring politics into this, you know.
Yes, yes, I love that because then we can be using English as a tool and not just oh let's talk about English. We could be like talking about states in those. Oh, it's not just states, but countries where it's not legal to get married yet if you're gay. That's in English and it's not about English, it's in English. And like I say before, the people that really speak English already, that have like a medium English, they are already looking for stuff in English, not just stuff about English, right? They want to consume culture. So be that culture that your students are going to consume. And then you're going to have fun researching, you're going to know shit, you're going to show interesting things, in English. And that's cool. I love it.
Yeah, and I can also like bring up queer authors, and to improve the discussion. Judith Butler and I don't know Audre Lorde, Bell Hooks. We can use them.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Paula, can you think of any content ideas to attract a queer audience?
Well, all the ideas the girls gave, they're awesome. I would bring discussion about respect and divorce when it comes to the queer community. So, and also, of course, showing and being very clear of what is my side and what do I think, and because I don't know, if I'm not very clear, it's not very nice because I'm being neutral. Did I say this? Yeah. So that's what I usually do. I bring these kind of discussions, not being neutral, and I think this kind of discussion when it comes to respect and not being having this kind of prejudice is very important.
Yes, absolutely. Vocalizing your beliefs, right, people? People love to hear beliefs vocalized, especially when they agree with those beliefs, right? Because then it's like, yes, me too. Yes, you, me, we think. Yes, we think same. Yes. So it's nice. Yes, do that, please. So let's go to black people now. If you want to attract black people, what can we do, right? What can we post about? What can we share? What content ideas do you have?
I think first of all is showing Black people speaking English, so you can have an image of that happening, and especially people who are Black and speak English as a first language, but also people who are Black and learned how to speak English and how to communicate.
Yes, beautiful. I love it. What other ideas do you guys have? Amanda, do you have any ideas about that?
I'm sorry, I'm having dinner.
Don't worry.
Um, I don't know. It's a good idea. Maybe put some uh, black people talking, uh, bilingual black people talking, and maybe talking how. But I don't know. This sounds like very sad, maybe. But the idea to learn English to get better uh, job offers. Yes, but if you are a black person, maybe it's not enough. And how do you feel about that? How many black people you know around you that has like maybe English, French, Spanish, and I don't know, like maybe create a safe space to share bad experience. I don't know if it's a good post, but I know that people like it's the same idea of hating. If you are hating on internet, uh, you are engaging a post because people like to show hate on internet. Mm, But I also feel, and this is on my mind, okay, as a user, I don't know any researches about it. People like to confess things, like to share things. internet. So maybe it could be a good place to embrace this and maybe great. I don't know. I don't know.
No, but I think that
I
could
think
be think that could be a content idea. For example, if we got that idea and then we talked about those statistics and we motivated people to win over those statistics, like, oh, it's systematically difficult for Black people to speak English, but hey, these are the things that I have prepared to help you get there. You know, it's hard, but it's not impossible, and we're in this together. So, like, being real about the challenge, like how hard it is, and motivating them to go against that statistic. It's like when I'm talking about ancestry, when I'm talking about ancestrality in my content, that's really the vibe I want to evoke, because I want to talk about how, like, my ancestors, they were fucked up and I had all these opportunities that they didn't, you know. So I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm going to use the sacrifices that they made that helped me get here to do better and, you know, to excel. So I do think that can be content, right? And that's the thing. When we write down an idea, we have the chance to actually mature the idea and reflect on, how can this relate to my public, right? How can this become something real? I love that. So, oh my God, I said so many things that
this
I
is
don't know.
was 100% what I was trying to say, but you spoke beautifully. Thank you.
Oh my God, we're connected. You see, it's a collective brainstorm, and that's what I love about it. There's no wrongs or rights. It's like we're just blurting out things that we think are ideas, right? And that's the thing about ideas, people. On my Trello, I open my Trello and there's so many content ideas, some of which will never become content, but then some of them actually do because I mature them. And then when I'm looking for posts to write, I'm like, look at this idea. This could be something, maybe not as I wrote it, but I can turn this idea into something else that's close to what I want to post about. So do capture your ideas. Have fucking Trello or Notion or a Google Doc that you favorite on your WhatsApp. Something to please write down all your fucking ideas. Don't let them, like, you know, go away because you have your idea in the shower or something and then you say, oh, I'm going to write it down later. You're not going to have your idea while you're eating dinner and then you let it slide. It's not going to come back. So, like, make it quick, but write down your ideas. Don't let them slide away, you know. And I love that speech from Chimamanda, the danger of a single story. Yes, absolutely. And then if you want to attract back people, that's already an idea. You can show, you know, Black authors and show quotes of Black thinkers and Black politicians, Black, um, what's the name? People that stand for things like militantes. I forgot the name for that in English. Advocate, Black advocates, right? So yes, absolutely. Any other ideas? Let's see, Michelle. Any ideas?
I would say the same because I like to use literature and poetry. So bring Maya Angelou, Angela Davis, I love her. So try to bring
Yes,
about it.
yes, absolutely. Representation, right? Louisa, any other ideas? No. Paula, do you have any ideas?
Yes, I do. I think it's very common for us to see content creators showing the lifestyle, cultural aspects of people from the United States and from England or the UK, doesn't matter. But it's not very common to see people showing video of Black people from any country of Africa, or I don't know, showing their cultural aspects or their lifestyle. So that would be nice to look for videos for YouTubers or whatever, I don't know, or other Instagrammers that share their cultures and their lives to share, because that's so common when it comes to Americans and British people. So,
I love that. Yes. Show Black influencers, show African content creators, talk about African English, talk about African bilingualism. When you watch Young, Famous, and African, you're like, what the actual fuck? It's so fucking amazing. How does everyone not know about this show? It's like people are speaking English and then in the middle, they're changing to all these dialects and they're speaking, and it's beautiful. It's just a bunch of rich and Black African people, and it's just refreshing. Yes. Another thing that I would love to mention is that put black people in your fucking posts also. You know, when you choose a person, a random stock person, choose black people, because I feel like, I'm not talking about y'all, obviously, but I feel like all around when I see people in posts and carousels, the arms are white, the fingers are white, the people are white, you know? So it's like, show black people, represent black people, right? Black people exist. And if they don't see themselves represented, how will they feel that that product is for them? You know, so whose voices are being amplified, whose standards are being amplified in your content? That is so important to think about. Okay, so if we want to attract, decolonize black people, queer people, let's see. Next person. I don't know. Oh my god, I lost the order here. Paula, what type of people are you yearning to attract? What's your ideal demographic?
I don't know. I was thinking about that. I don't really know. Really, really, I don't know. I've been thinking about it, but I don't have an answer yet.
Is there a
I was
philosophy you want these people to have? Is there a personality trait you want them to have, even if they don't have a shape or color or age in your head?
really, really, I don't have nothing in my mind. I'm thinking about it. I need to decide, but it's been hard for me because I don't really know. I don't want to decide in a specific color or age because okay, I know now that is not I don't want to attract children. I've I had a small group of 3 kids and I love kids, but I didn't like the idea and the experience of teaching kids. So I know this is not the group that I want to attract. But about teenagers, adults, elderly people, I don't really. I couldn't choose. I
Who do
think. I
you
think
like teaching? Is there anyone you like teaching more than the others? Like, who are your favorite students normally?
normally young, but not teenager. Young people, but not teenager.
Young
But I'm very
adult.
patient. So when I have elderly people as students, I'm okay with teaching them. So they're not usually, no, mostly my students, they are like from the 20s, in the 20s, you know? So yeah, actually attract this kind of people, but it's not because I choose to attract this group. So sorry, I can hear you.
I was muted. Yeah, it would be hard for you to hear me. But that was something awesome you touched on now. I talked about it briefly in the beginning of the meeting, like branding. We're deciding our branding, but ultimately we are a living brand. Without deciding our branding and marketing it on Instagram, we are a brand. So if you want to find your brand, you don't need to look for anyone different than what you are. You just need to look at yourself and see, what type of people do I attract? What type of people do I like attracting? Because it's like I said before, if someone asks, who is Paula? What are the characteristics people are going to say? You know, if you think about who you are, then what is the type of people you are? What type of person you are? So it's like Fernanda is a black and queer, right? I don't know if you're queer. Are you queer? Yes, a black and queer person. So she wants to attract black and queer people. Surprising? Not so much, right? It would be strange if a black person wanted to attract just white people. I would be like, yes, honey, let's sit down to have a conversation with Auntie Bea, right? But that's not the case. Yes, Louisa?
Uh, it actually took a time for me to realize what who are my public, because when I started selling like courses and whatever, my job on internet, and then I realized it was like what I was. I am always at university. I'm like an academic, and undergraduates are my they happen to be my the ones that came to me. So now like 2 years later, I can see that's my public, so that's difficult, I guess.
It's difficult. It's a whole journey for you to accept who you are, right? For you to accept, okay, this is who I am. And then to see that you are attracting those people, it's another journey too. but I like to think how we're also like multi-faced in the sense of like Louisa is an academic, but she's also like she has this unique sense of humor, you know, and then she has she's in the air sometimes in the circus shit, and then she has this unique character combo of like, okay, maybe you're an academic, but you're a super tootsie wootsy, very polished person, and very you study law, you know, and then you're gonna be like, I don't think Louisa is really my cup of tea. But maybe you're not an academic, but you're a person that likes circus shit. You're gonna be like, oh, Louisa is for me. I'm not an academic, but she has something. So that's why it's so cool when we expose who we are in all that totality in like not just one side of us, because there are people that are going to find you there, you know. There are people that are going to connect to you there. That student of mine that she said was also talking about like how do I gay up my followers. She also started like doing other things, like using a Harry Potter mug, because then the people that like Harry Potter were like, oh yes, this teacher. She wasn't talking about Harry Potter. She was just like using Harry Potter mug, and people are just like, oh my god, she's a Slytherin. Yes. So you know, you don't have to be queer to love Leticia. You could just be a Slytherin, or you can just like Harry Potter. So show yourself, and then maybe you don't need to have a brand yet. But you can just think about what you believe in. The parts that you missed, Paula, but we were also talking about the beliefs we have. If you don't know who your public is, talk about your beliefs. Talk about what you believe in as an educator, because whether you like it or not, these beliefs they encompass this whole demographic because they're related to your journey too. You know? So I love thinking about that. Who else wants to share something about branding
Amazing.
and in your
Thank you.
public?
Thank you for the ideas.
Did it make sense?
Total sense. Yeah.
Nice. So anyone else want to share anything about branding or about finding their public or about content creation that's on their minds? No? Oh my god, this is such an awkward moment when I ask
I
questions.
just I just want to say that your Instagram is amazing, and I like I don't know, I just really enjoy the way you brand yourself without being like forçada, you know.
Oh, I see. I try to shy away from that toxic shit. It's like, do this now, blah, 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 you know? And I think that's a really good way to think about things. Like do things with kindness and mindfulness. I try not to sound like a person that's cagando regra and all like that. So, and I really believe in everything I say. That's so important. It's like my gospel that I'm talking about every day. Those beliefs are always being repeated and repeated and repeated. So I appreciate that very much because that's me out there. So if you like it, you like me. Oh, I like you too. Amanda?
Not yet. I want to share that when I think about your Instagram profile, if you were a famous brand, you probably would be Netflix. Like very funny, very creative, like answer everybody and say whatever you want. It doesn't care.
Uh,
So that's nice. Or maybe Duolingo. And that's, I don't know if you follow Duolingo on TikTok and Instagram. Please do, like,
oh
finish
my
here
god.
and please go to follow all the profiles like UK, USA, Brazil, everything. It's amazing. Like, I on my head I am funny like Duolingo is, but only in my head. And if I could have a Instagram profile, I would like to have this type of connection, like not be like, oh, this is blah blah blah. No, but talking, get a public audience very yeah, that passive aggressive. uh, get our audience that talks to me and not only reads my post. And I can go like you do, dear, like start recording your story just to say things, not about, oh, I'm thinking about that. I'm going to record and make a text about it. No, it's just I'm just talking. Like I can talk about positive discipline, and like as for a young person that knows how it's hard. And I don't know because I'm not a parent, but I can see how it's hard to raise a child inside a methodology that is not based on punishment. And I want to try parents to do that. And I want to talk to them why you can do it. Can I help you? How can you do that together? And how can you do that in English to help your child? So maybe that's it.
That is amazing. You should do that. Absolutely. Like talk about things in English, not talk about English just like I think that's one of my biggest takeaways. Like don't be that basic shit all the time. Just how to say tips and grammar. Like people ultimately don't care. You know, we have this expectation that everyone's going to love English, but that's not how it goes. You know, we have a part in like involving them in that world, and I love that idea. Like think about the pain points, the desires and needs that maybe the people that you're trying to attract or that people like you have, and then go from there, you know, like with honesty and with the intention of really helping, of adding value to people's lives and interacting with followers, like not just expecting them to be a number there and then like but really listening to people and asking people questions and like building that network, right? Because it's not just, we're not going to expect people just to buy from us because, oh, we're fabulous. I got her profile and I immediately was hooked in. It's a relationship that needs to be developed, right? But people, this has been a huge pleasure. Let's take a fucking screenshot, right? Appear, Amanda, please. Lise, are you there? If you could appear. No, I don't know. You're going home. Okay. Three, two, one. There you go, girls. Thank you so much for today. It's been a pleasure as always. Love you guys. Have a good week. And I'll see you next one.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.